should have been a cowboy. I should have learned to rope and ride.
Wow, it's been a minute. It's been a long time since we've seen each other.
I know I feel like, or even like talk to each other because usually you're in Arizona, I'm wherever the hell I am, but at least we chat because we're doing the podcast, we're trying to figure out guests. So several times a day, we're kind of hitting each other back and forth. So I'm super excited to do this episode with you. No guests, we are the guests today because a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks.
So
Let's
much.
just put it that way. Usually I'm the one with the border problems, and Cowboy Cole's the one getting married. But this time, tables have changed, folks. Roles have switched. Everything is upside down. I want to start this podcast off asking you what the hell happened because you have very briefly told me, and I am very curious because, as you know, I've had a lot of troubles with borders in the past. Cowboy Cole, where are you and why are you there?
Cowboy Cole currently is sitting in the Comedy Ranch shack of Foothills, Alberta, dude. Did not make it back to Arizona, man. It did not happen for me this time. I was honestly declared a snow Mexican, essentially is what happened. An untrustable Canadian to the to the US, dude. Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my
so as
God,
you know,
bro,
I was headed home for the ski jor and the Roughnecks game. A little like 10-day stint, go back to Arizona. It was gonna be literally go back to Arizona and slowly start prepping to come home because man, like now it's March, right? So things are wrapping up down there. Things are heating up at home. It's really nice at home right now. So yeah, but it didn't work out that way, bro.
so walk us through it. I want to know about everything you were doing with skijoring, the lacrosse game, but walk us through exactly what happened. You go through immigration in Calgary, right? Because the U.S. and Canada have a some kind of deal, so you don't get on the plane. You give them the passport. Like, what happens exactly? Why didn't they let you in?
So I go through security, all is good. Mind you, I'm in this hoodie right here, the Hot Rodeo Mums hoodie, loud and proud, just
That
eating
did
my
not
way.
help. That did not help.
No, absolutely not. I stick out like a sore thumb. And I'm just easing through the crowd, looking like this. It's so funny, man. I go up to the guy at the booth where they take your passport, they ask you your couple questions, they wave you through, off you go to the escalator, right? Well, I'm standing there and
Yep.
he scans my passport and then he's like looking at me. He's like, take your hat off for the photo. I do that. And then he's like looking at my passport, looking at the computer screen and like typing in there. And he's just like, well, according to what I see here, you're over your days to be in the United States. And I was like, Really? Like, damn, I didn't, I guess, haven't really done the math on that in a while. Like, didn't really know what to say, man. It kind of caught me off guard. So then he starts asking me a bunch of questions and he's like, can I see your driver's license? And I was like, yep. He's like, is it Alberta? I was like, it is, yep. So I hand him that and he goes, do you have your American license? I was like, I don't have one of those. I don't, that's a weird question. Why would you ask me that? And so now he's looking at my ID, he's looking at the computer screen, he's like scrolling, he's freaking typing. I did have to give my fingerprints. He made me freaking do a couple fingerprints on their little machine there. So that's when I was like, oh, fuck, dude, this is not good, man. I'm going into the system. That's what happens when you get fingerprinted, bro. You're going into the system. So I'm like, oh no.
Wow.
So I do that. He freaking now he's got my all my identification and he goes, "Well, according to the past 12 months and from what I'm seeing here, you have been in the United States for too long. Um, we're not gonna let you through this point." And then he looks past me and is like, "Do you want to walk him in or me?" And the lady behind me, the other border lady, is like, "I'll walk him in." And I'm just like, "Whoa, whoa, what does walk him in mean, dude? Like, what is
Yeah, like we're walking in. Like, is
what?"
that code for like you're getting Guantanamo Bay? Like, what's happening?
I was like, "Oh no, dude, I'm too good looking to go to Guantanamo, bro. This is gonna be bad." So, So this lady now comes over, she grabs my ID, she starts walking me away from all of that, not towards the escalators where they let you go up to get on your plane and have a beer and hang out. No, she's taking me to the left towards the wall with no windows, just a door. So I go over there.
Oh, that's not a good place. I've been in that little room.
Yeah.
Nothing good happens in that little
No,
room.
dude. So they literally tell me to go over there. They're like, go over to that door, stand over there. She'll be over there with you in a minute. So now I'm just standing over there by myself, bro, for like what felt like 20 minutes. It wasn't. It was probably like three, but it felt forever.
Yeah.
Because all these people that I like rushed to get my buckle on at security lineup and like got past to like beat them to this lineup. Well, now they're all just cruising up the escalator. I'm like, you motherfuckers, you know? So I stand there. Here comes the lady. She's walking towards me, drops my stuff, has to stop, picks it up off the floor, keeps walking towards me, gets over to me. Beep. We go inside. She's like, hey, have a seat in the chairs. I got to go do some things on the computer. So I was like, okay, great. Go sit. It's cold in there, man. It's like weirdly cold in that place, dude, right? So,
Oh yeah, man. They get into your head right away. Like the air conditioning is not by accident. It's for a
yeah.
reason.
Yep. And like I was literally just hoodie and a t-shirt. I'm getting ready to go back to fucking sunny 75 Whitman, Arizona, the desert, bro. So I'm dressed for that, man. And I'm a skinny human. Like I'm not built to be cold. Dude, that's not my thing.
There's zero layer of fat on Cowboy Cole. Like,
Not a single. I'm actually being studied by scientists for how I have negative body percentage fat. It's crazy. Anyway, we can talk about that later if we want. But so I'm sitting in this room shivering, watching this weird fire department sitcom show going on the screen, and then she calls me over there, and essentially she was like, "So the dates that we're seeing don't really make sense. What have you been doing? Why are you down there? Where are you staying? Who are you staying with? How are you able to stay down there? Why did you cross in the fall and say you'd be back in 2 weeks and then you didn't come back till January?" And like, she got me with that one, dude, right there, because she was like, "Why did you say you were coming back in 2 weeks and then didn't come back?" And I was like, "Well, no, I did. Like, that's why I'm home right now, is because I came back for the last 2 weekends of my job, what I do for work, and now I'm going back to Arizona." She's like, "No, no, in the fall." And then I was like, "Oh shit!" And it was when I crossed with my dad, and
like
so,
how do they know this? Do they have video evidence of you saying
well,
like
yeah,
how do they know?
that's what I'm saying is like I guess they thought I was coming back with dad, but she told me that their system, the US and Canada border system, are now integrated. So when they scan
Wow.
our passport, dude, everything from the US and Canada just like pops right up. So they're looking at every hard date. And it's just like, oh, wow, okay. So she asked me that. She's like, so what's up with that? And I was like, well, things changed with work at home, and I didn't have to come back, and I had an opportunity to stay, so I did. Like, I was just like, oh shit, play, what the hell? So yeah, she grilled me, man. And then so in my head the whole time, it's just been burning in my head like, oh my God, please, please don't give me a ban. I'm like, please don't give me a ban. So she's grilling me. I'm answering questions. I know I don't look as calm and cool as collected as I think I'm trying to be, you know. I'm freaking out. This is the first time I've ever been in this situation, bro. And eventually she was just like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna just let you know that we will not be letting you into to the United States today. It won't be a ban or anything like that. We recognize that, you know, things happen, but we will not be letting you into the US today." I was just like, "Oh, so I'm not getting on a plane is like at all. No chance of that." She's like, "No. And actually, you're technically on US soil right now, so we have to wait for a US border agent to come and escort you back to the Canadian side." So I was like, "Okay, I'll continue to hang out." And like, I can't use my phone or anything. Poor Ravy Davy, man. She's already driving back to the ranch, which is like upwards of 45, 50 minutes from the ranch. You know, she's on her way home, and I know that I'm gonna fucking get out on the other side and be like, you feel like burning more really expensive carbon taxed gas to come get my ass. Like,
Oh my God.
so in walks this US border agent, short, stocky, little pit bull looking dude, and he takes my ID and my passport, and off we go, walking me right through like all the gated areas where everybody's now chilling and waiting for their flights to fucking Phoenix and LA and wherever hell else they're going. And here I am in my hot rodeo mom's hoodie, walking through everybody, getting escorted by this guy. He takes me into this other little room, and we get in this elevator, dude, that I genuinely don't know if we went up or down because the only button to get in it had the arrows pointing left and right, which I assumed to open the doors. And then we got in that elevator, and there was only two buttons, and one was like an emergency open, and the other one was just a button, and he clicked it, and it.
Wow.
So I'm just like, all right, yeah, we're going to Superman's lair or
We're
something.
going somewhere. I don't know where, but
And while we're on this elevator, it's just quiet and awkward because I'm getting kicked out of the US. This guy is getting the fun part of getting to do it, you know? And I'm standing there, and Buddy looks at me and goes, "Did they turn you around because of your hoodie?" And just starts laughing. I was like,
no.
"Motherfucker."
Oh my God. The line of the experience. That's amazing. Good on him, though. Good on
And
him.
like leading up to that point, I was already in my brain just trying to breathe through it and be like, at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. It's so unfortunate, but it is what it is. So it's going to be a great story. I'm going to laugh about it. So the fact that this guy hit me with that roast in the moment, I was just
Oh
like, thank
man.
you, bro. Like, there is nothing to do but laugh in this moment because I am wearing
Yeah.
ridiculously funny, outrageous hoodie. And I just got the fucking spotlight on me. Everybody's looking at me like, oh, I wonder what he did as I go through there, you know? And I just gotta laugh.
Yeah.
Just gotta fucking laugh.
Yo. So at the end of the day, like how many days can you spend as a Canadian in the US in 1 year?
Man, that it still feels kind of blurred. So she told me that the common misconception is that Canadians have 6 months to stay in the US. She's like,
That's what I thought.
yeah, that's how I've grown up. The whole entire circle of my life has been rocking under that, you know, that law. So
Yeah.
this lady was like, that's, we get that a lot, but we will give you up to 6 months if you need it, like in case of emergencies, health, whatever, to get your affairs in order. She's like, we understand life happens. But she's like, think of it this way, if you spend 30 days in the US, you need to spend minimum like 35 to 40 in Canada to offset those days in the US.
Ah,
She's
okay. So
like,
because I was like, we're in March. Like, how could he have spent 6 months? The math doesn't add up. Like it's March.
that's the
It's
other
been
thing.
3 months.
That's the other
Like
thing
not
too.
even January, February, 2 months. So I'm like, that's what made no sense to me.
Yeah, so she told me that it's based off of like your last 12-month period. It doesn't reset on a new year.
Well, where does it start? Last 12 months of based on when? When is the start date?
Oh, I was in the US end of January 2024. So I mean technically that time had lapsed, but I think too also because I didn't have
Oh,
a
okay.
return date home is that the bulk of days that I kind of had recuperated, I didn't have a date to tell them that was within that made them believe that I was going to actually be home within that because they're looking at like
Right. If you had a
that's
ticket
it.
out, if you had a ticket out like in a week, if you're like, oh, I'm flying back in a week, here's my ticket, you would have been
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. I bet you if it would
Okay,
have been that,
got you.
they would have been like, have a nice.
That's what yeah, that's what I imagined because you were flying down without an actual date out. You were driving back, right, with the horses. That's what I imagined that the problems began. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. But honestly, Cole, like, welcome to 1% of what I've lived in the past 38 years of my life.
Dude, it shed a light on that for me and in such a small manner. Honestly, like
But it's yeah, bro. It's like when they put you in that room, like the feeling, like it's just you feel so helpless because you're in their turf. You have no idea what they're gonna do to you. Everything makes you feel uncomfortable. Their questions are made to catch you in something. Any breath you take out of line, they think it's all automatically you're lying. And like one time, I was going to Canada. to a buddy's wedding, and I had just finished the trip to Ushuaia, so I had all the camera gear from the American production company, and I couldn't send it from Brazil. So like, take it to Canada with you and FedEx it from Canada. I'm like, perfect. I'm going to a wedding. I arrive in Canada. I have two bags. One is my clothing. The other one is this camera equipment. They sent me to the little room. The woman asked me, "Why do you have two bags if you're just coming for a week for a wedding?" I'm like, "Well, I have the camera equipment." I told them the truth. I have the camera equipment from the trip I just did on horseback to Schwab. I filmed for an American production company. I'm sending it back through Canada. This woman created a story in her mind that I was going to take photos of the wedding. She's like, "Do you have someone, one of your friends, that can confirm you're going to this wedding?" I'm like, "Yeah, for sure. My friend Mark's coming to pick me up." We call Mark. I give her the phone. I'm like, "Hey, Mark, this immigration officer wants to talk to you." I give her the phone. She picks up the phone. So, "Hey, Mark, how are you?" "Yeah, I'm here with Filipe. I just want to confirm Filipe is coming to Canada to take photos of this wedding, correct?" And my buddy Mark, who would like jump in front of a truck for me, thinks that that's what I've told her, right? Because of the way she phrased the question. So he goes, "Yes, yes, that's
No.
correct." And she's like, "Oh, perfect. How much are you guys paying him?" Mark goes, $500? Makes up a number out of, like, he doesn't know what the fuck's happening. $500. She's like, "Okay, thank you so much." Hangs up the phone. She goes, "You're not coming into Canada." I was like, "Lady," and I'm just like shocked. Like, I don't know what to say at this point. I'm like, "Lady, there's not even a fucking photo camera in that bag. It's a video camera. Like, go check, open the fucking Pelican case. It's a video camera." I'm like, "You phrased the question in a way that obviously he was going to answer yes. Like, he's my friend. He thinks that that's what I've told you." Like, anyway, so yeah, I'm used to it, buddy. But so what comes next? Like, you just have to stay a month outside of the US, and you can go back in.
Yeah, this lady told me she was like, you could try in 20 days if you wanted, but even with a return home ticket, she's like, I doubt they're gonna let you. She goes, I would do like 20 to 30.
Yeah,
And she's like, have your ducks in a row. She's like, this job you tell me that you have at the beginning of April in Saskatoon, like, have a contract signed with that. Have a return date
right.
home. Like, have solid numbers and dates of like, yes, no, I am home because like my livelihood relies on this. And so, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
essentially at this point, I think the game plan is to drive down with my buddy Denver Roy on like the 18th-ish of March. And A, I'm gonna have a return flight home. B, I'm gonna have a signed contract with Saskatoon. And C, I'm going down there with a vet appointment for horses to get blood work to come back to Canada. So I can show them and be like, look at I have
perfect.
all this, and once the whole vet appointment is done and papers in hand, we northbound. Like, get off my jock.
You'll be fine, bro. You'll be fine. But what a mess. And I just keep thinking about, like, the horses are down there, Tiger's down there. Now
Yeah,
she's having to take care of all these horses by herself, right? Like, that's the hard
dude.
part.
I know Tiger's been holding it down, bro, in the freaking trailer park, man. She's been luckily, our buddy Grady took over that outside horse that I had down there. He's taken
Yep.
the
Yes,
responsibility of
sir.
that, which is huge.
Yes,
So,
sir.
but I mean, Tiger, yeah, she's keeping her head horse road, keeping Chaunch road, keeping everybody's stalls clean. She's working a full-time job that's like pretty demanding. Yeah, she's killing
Yes,
it.
sir.
Hmm.
Shout out to Tiger. Yeah, I think about all of that because it's not just the what you're going through; it's your life down there, right? You have horses, you have stalls to clean, you have she works a full time job, and all of a sudden now it throws a wrench into the system. But I knew she'd be able to take it all on and make it work. So shout out to Tiger.
Hmm. Yeah, she's holding it
And
down.
now let's talk about the reason why you got deported. Not deported, but they didn't let you in. So you came back to Canada for some really cool events, skijoring, the lacrosse game. Tell us about all that.
Ski Jordu in Calgary can confirm was first
Skijoru.
time in the city limits of Calgary, not just in the city limits, but downtown, man, at Confluence Park with like the way the
Wow.
track was set up was that if you were standing at the end of the track looking west, all the skiers and horses were running down towards you with just the city skyscrapers in the background, man. And it was just crystal clear blue sky days. And you know why it was crystal clear blue sky?
Minus 100.
Yes. Oh my God, dude. Saturday, man, I woke up when I left the ranch, it was like minus 32 or something like that. And I was just like, oh my God. I was dressed for success. I was prepared. I have worked in worse temperatures. So I have just over the years of living and working jobs just accumulated the gear to handle those kind of temps. But it still sucks, cocks and dicks. You know what I mean? Like, so I felt prepared, dude. And Saturday ended up being way better temp wise than I expected it to be when we went out there. Because my job there is I host the VIP red carpet events before and after the actual Ski Tour Do event, and then I co-host the fashion segments during the events. So when we went out there for the first red carpet, I was like, "Oh shit, this is nice out, dude!" Like I had to take the buffalo coat off. I was getting sweaty, hollering on the mic, having a good time, dude. Like Saturday was great, man. There was like 5,500, maybe a little bit more people that showed up. It
Wow.
was packed.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big.
the photos and videos look massive. Like it was a huge event, and you're right. The skyline's right there. It's beautiful. There's horses. Everyone's wearing fur. Cowboy Cole's killing it. Like they pull you out at the beginning, right? On the back of
Yeah.
this horse, you're just waving to people. Like, man, I'm so pissed. Like everything in my life happens at the same time. I wanted to go so bad, but it was amazing seeing you killing it out there, buddy. And then it was back to back to the lacrosse game, right? Like, how did that work? What came first?
So Ski Do was first. It was the first weekend that I came up. That was a Saturday, Sunday event. Sunday was
Okay.
nasty cold there, but we still put on two hella good shows. Still had a crazy turnout for how cold it was, man. I was so
Nice.
impressed for just Albertans.
That's awesome.
And random people do it.
That's
I got approached on the second day by this lady who's like, my friend's from Florida. I'm from LA. We saw all the Banff Skajor stuff and we made a vacation out of coming up here to see you guys. We loved it. And it was just like,
wow.
what? Like, so crazy, right? So then, yeah,
Bro, there's Brazilians hitting me up when I think I shared one of your videos or something. Brazilians were hitting me up, be like, "Yo, we're going next year. Like, how does this work?"
dude,
I was like, "Yeah, you should come. It's crazy.
it's growing big
I
time.
feel like it's only gonna get bigger, bro. Like it's already big. I know you guys are getting huge numbers, but when you see it, it's the perfect combination. Like snow, horses, crazy fashion. Like people want to be a part of it. So I'm excited to see what the next few years look like.
Yep. Yep. I couldn't agree more, my brother. So, and same, it's gonna blow up pretty big time. And then, so that finishes. And then I hunkered down for the next couple days because it was still really cold. So I literally just like recuperated, slept, napped, ate, rode the bike. Mom and dad got one of those
Yeah.
Costco saunas in their house. So I've just been sauna red lighting every freaking day, like just on that LeBron
Oh, that's
James.
amazing.
And Hunkered in. It got nice, and then the Roughnecks game was Saturday. And to give you the difference, the weekend before I was going downtown in like Long John's 14 layers. The Roughnecks Saturday, I went downtown in just a hoodie and my rodeo collared
No.
shirt and a t-shirt under that, man. Like that was the difference in
Well, welcome to Alberta. Eh? It goes
yeah.
from like minus 40 to 20-degree weather. Yeah.
Yeah. But man, this year the Roughnecks game was just a next level kind of epic for me. Because last year it was packed. It was in April, the weather was beautiful. There was like 15,000 plus. Cowboy Cole's out on the concourse doing rope tricks, kind of hanging out with everybody at the Lamley's booth. And then I ran out there in the opening and did a minute of trick roping. Well, this year, dude, I did the minute of trick roping, and then they freaking handed Cowboy Cole a microphone in the Saddle Dome and let me host the boot race. And they were just like, "Yeah, dude, fucking have at her. You got like 6, 7 minutes. Go for it." I was like, "Whoa!" So that was
Well,
legendary, man.
man, what a dream come true for you, right? You growing up going in there to watch hockey games, lacrosse games, like it's the biggest venue now in Calgary, Alberta, and to get in there and be on the mic
Yeah.
controlling that massive crowd. It's country night, right? That's why they have the cowboy theme stuff. Like,
Yeah, they do a Roughnecks rodeo night, man. So they
oh, that's what it
keep
is.
country, keep it rodeo, and Dusty Edwards, he vouched for me. And another level too for getting to be on a mic and perform in the dome, man, is um I have family. My I think great grandpa or something like that. I would have to ask dad and kind of get the whole story, but he used to coach the hockey team in like the OG days of the dome and stuff like that. Like his picture is still on the wall in the Saddle Dome for like the 1940s or 50s
No
or
way.
something like that. Yeah, dude. So like it really hit home to get to go there and not just do rope tricks this time, but like actually get on a mic and have my voice rattle into that concrete. Like I think of people like I've seen Kid Rock play there, dude. Like
Wow.
there's just been some legendary people that have had their voices bang through those speakers, and fuck, dude, mine's got to be one of them. That's crazy.
That's so awesome, bro. And having the family ties in there as well. Like I can't even imagine how pumped up you were in one of those just one of those moments, I guess, where you got to take a step back and be like, shit, like I dreamed of this one day and now I'm doing it, right?
Yeah,
That's awesome, bro. I was so happy to see the photos and the videos. And man, those guys are insane, bro. Like fucking lacrosse players, like it's like MMA with like gladiators joins, like hockey. Because when you're fighting in hockey, you're on top of ice. Those guys are on hard ground. Like they are just punching the shit out of each other, cross checking. Like what animals? Like what an amazing game. I want to go back and watch. Like you got me excited.
yeah, dude. And we did get to see a fight in that game that night, man. Two of those guys
Yeah.
put it off, and like it just kind of reminded me of some like bare knuckle UFC or whatever. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
some punches. I was just like, oh, son of a bitch, dude. That's a
Oh damn! Like they're hitting each other hard, bro. Like they're no one's slipping back on your skates. Like you got a firm grip on the old ground there and just throwing haymakers. But yeah, I want to go watch, man. I've never been to an actual professional lacrosse game. I've seen lacrosse games when we were in high school and stuff, but I need to go watch. You sold it well. I want to get back to Calgary. I don't know when their season goes up to, but I'd love to go watch them.
Absolutely, dude. We should even pitch to Dusty that we should like host a live podcast at the Roughnecks Rodeo game next year. That'd be rank.
Hundo P. We should also have him on the podcast, and we should try to get some players on to chat. Are they all from Calgary, or are they from all over Canada?
Dude, they're a mix, honestly. Like the guy, Zach Courier, that they sent out to the ranch last year, he doesn't play for him anymore, but he would come in from like Ontario, I think, for games. He had his
Wow,
job back out
wow.
there, worked, trained out there, played for some other teams out there to stay sharp, and then would fly in for the Roughnecks game. Like
Wow. And that's the thing too, right? Lacrosse is like they're professional. Obviously, these guys are super professional, but they still have to have jobs, right, to pay the bills.
kind of like the CFL. A lot of them still have that side hustle, plumbers, electricians, whatever that, with good gig. Kind of like a rodeo cowboy, man. Like, oh,
I was
you
gonna say,
sing professionally,
yeah,
but it doesn't quite cover what the lifestyle you want, need, whatever, right? Like, sure, I'll work with you.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. Dang,
Yeah,
I
a
didn't
lot of
put those two and two
parallels. I was gonna say a
together.
lot of parallels with rodeo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we should get some of the guys and interview them. I'd love to. I'd love to learn more about the sport.
Dude, yeah, I'll reach out to that Zach guy actually. He'd probably be great. Yeah. But yeah, so
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Saturday, and then dude, freaking Sunday evening, I was supposed to fly out and then cue border story. And now here I am. I've just
Wow.
been freaking, I mean, not much changed for me day to day other than not having horses to ride and like not making roping content, not filming roping content. I had to really lock in and be like, okay, who's home right now that I can have some fun with. So like thank God my buddy Colin is in the city. I don't have any film gear, so like he's been coming out to help me film. My buddy Lambo, he got done on the movie he was working on. So he's got time. He brought his buddy Jeff out yesterday, who's a writer. We were filming sketches yesterday. Like just been locked in trying to make Alberta winter cowboy content right now.
Oh my God, that's so funny. But yeah, man, you got to just make it the best no matter what happens. Sometimes you get a couple wrenches thrown in your way and you just got to make the best of it. Are your parents home as well right now or are they down in Mexico?
Dude, they are currently in Whitman.
No, what?
Yeah, so mom finished up on the show she was working on the 14th of February. They left the 16th of February, which like I got home, I saw them Friday night. I saw them a little bit Saturday, and then they left Sunday of the first weekend that I got home. They went down to Yuma, got the RV set up and some friends of ours down there, and then they went over to Disneyland. They went up to San Diego. And now they stopped in at Whitman. They just got in there yesterday. Go see Tiger, help her out a little bit with chores and just be around a little, and then they're gonna head home Tuesday.
Oh man, that's so funny. You guys switched trading places with Cowboy
We
Cole and
did.
his family. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Dude, they're probably so happy
Uh,
that I'm at home doing chores for once and they can take off when it's cold, you know?
yeah, that worked. It all worked out. And so when do you head back to the US? I mean, obviously when you're stuck there, I'm not there. I get back, I think on the 21st or maybe a little earlier. You're gonna go on the 18th. Is that what I
Yeah,
heard you
I
say?
think it's
March
gonna be
18th?
about middle March. But dude, it'll be
Oh my
honestly
God.
10 days before I've got a rig pointed home north because like I've got another pro lacrosse game in Saskatoon on the 4th of April. I'm going there to do rope tricks
Nice.
and do some like in-crowd work, host their intermission rodeo. They got like whole gauntlet thing set up, man. It's gonna be rank. We're gonna have contestants like run
Wow.
through a series of like cowboy things, and then they gotta run through a bunch of ropers at the end and try and not get fucking heeled down, dude. I'm gonna heel some bitches down.
That's gonna be amazing, bro. That's gonna be so dope. Cowboy Cole taking over the lacrosse world.
Dude,
Let's
I
go,
love
baby.
hot
Let's
rodeo. I
go.
love hot lacrosse moms coming soon, probably.
Yeah, you need to make that shirt. Or
Yeah.
I love hot immigration officer moms.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna leak this because it's so funny and it will come out roughly the same time this comes out. But that sketch yesterday that we filmed was a commercial for the merch where me and Jeff are pretending to be illegals working and ICE comes and arrests us. And then it's just like, are you tired of your hired hands getting arrested by ICE? We'll dress them up in cowboycole.com merch and they'll never be bothered again.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yo, but Trump's gonna put a 25% tariff
Oh,
on your merch, bro.
I know. I can't believe that shit. Yeah, wild times out there, dude. That
Oh man,
wrap,
that's
yeah.
amazing.
Essentially, that's the Cowboy Cole saga, and now I would like to hear about the Felipe saga because you got quite the wild ride to tell us about. Please
Oh
start
man.
from the top.
No, buddy, it's been magical. I flew to Brazil end of January. I can't wait to get back to my bed. It's now March. I'm still away. Went to two talks in Brazil, killed it. It was amazing. Then did two rides in Patagonia, 40 people into the mountains in two different groups. Unbelievable. Went up to like 2,000 meters above sea level, the Andes,
Yeah, so
rains. Go
yeah,
ahead.
tell me about that. Are you guys camping, like pitching tents camping on this ride? How far is it?
No, so like what we found out is that people that like invest in these rides, like I do three a year, they wanna have the adventure, but they want to sleep in a bed and have a glass of wine at night. So we go to the second oldest national park in the world. Actually, it only loses to Yellowstone in the U.S. It's called Nahuel Huapi near Bariloche here in Patagonia, Argentina. And we go to a lodge right by a glacier. We stay there 2 days, ride up the mountains. One day we go to an old volcano, come back down. The next day we go to a lookout, come back down. The third day we ride to another lodge, 20 kilometers. They do a barbecue for us outside with the horses around, lambs. It's amazing. It's unbelievable.
It's
And
straight
then we ride
boots.
another day. Yeah, it honestly, bro. I've gained so much weight, and then we ride another day at that second lodge. So every night you get to kind of sleep well and have a glass of wine, and then take the people back to Bariloche and welcome the second group. So yeah, I mean, we had people from the U.S., Canada, Brazil, Argentina. It was an amazing group. Everyone was unhurt. Everyone came alive. I'm always so worried because
Love that.
it's an adventure, man. Like you're climbing mountains, it's raining, horses are slipping, and it's always a big responsibility because I'm their father, right? For the 7 days we're together. So everything worked out well. Had an amazing time, and then literally came off the mountain and got married the next day. Married Clarita, which was awesome. Had a beautiful wedding here in front of a lake and some mountains. I met her in Patagonia on horseback 8 years ago when I was riding to Ushuaia. area. So to get to marry the love of my life on the back of a horse, right down the road from where we met was pretty magical. Had people here from all over as well. Cowboy Cole was invited, but unfortunately he was being deported at the time and couldn't come. Couldn't come down. But you were here, and you're here in our hearts. And I got hitched, bro. Now I get to wear this fucking ring, and I can't even wash my hands normally anymore because half the bar of soap gets caught up back here. I don't want to wear this, but
There's gonna be
Clara
some
has
safety
made me,
adjustments to that.
bro. I feel like my finger's broken. It feels like, when you like have to put a little thing on your finger, like you break it. That's
Yeah.
what it feels like. It's so weird. Like I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm like Ricky Bobby. I'm just like raising my.
Dude, that's nuts.
That's how
Okay,
I do all the podcasts.
I big time want to get to the wedding, but I have some questions about your trail ride for like, because it sounds bouge and awesome and fun, and it sounds like it's set up really well. Because like, what are the riding levels of these people that will come do this ride?
Bro, honestly, they're all over the place. I actually had the 1979 first round draft pick of the NFL
Yeah, I
come ride
saw
with me.
that. That's so sick.
Yeah, and yeah, it's such a great guy, him and his wife. And he had ridden a horse once in his life, but obviously, this guy was the first round draft pick. He's mentally very tough. Like, I take people out of their comfort zone. The whole thing is that, yes, it is a ride. It's going to be fun. You're going to drink, you're going to laugh. But I also want to hit you with, the hardest thing you've ever done, maybe. I'm going to put you through something that's going to be very different, take you out of your comfort zone, because I want you to think about your life. I want you to think about your purpose. I want you to connect with nature and these horses. And I just want to shake people up, that's that, like, as you know, with my talks, that's like my thing. Like, are you happy? Are you doing what you love? And when you take people out of their comfort zone, especially on a horse, there's no masks. You know what I mean? The truth comes out very quickly, and especially when you're like in fear, it's raining, it's cold, it's snowing, you're climbing up to 2,000 meters above sea level, and it's windy, and so there's that aspect of it as well. But everyone gets through it. The first day is 10 and a half hours. It's really hard. Everyone's like hurting at the end of the
That's
day,
a big
but they get
day.
through it. It's a big day, but then we have a nice dinner. We drink some wine, get up the next day, go at it again. It's 8 hours, and then it starts getting easier. Then the third and fourth day are a little easier, and the plans to do it all over the world. This year, I have two groups in Wyoming. It's gonna be freaking awesome. I'm so excited. Then we do Spain, end of September, beginning of October. Next year we do Patagonia again, Africa, and the U.S. So every year I'll introduce different countries, and yeah, buddy, if anybody's interested, hit me up. It's if you love horses, if you love adventure, if you love nature, it's a life-changing trip. Like, people leave it, I think, with a different mindset than what they came into it.
Oh man, I would have no doubts. And that's why I kind of asked about the rider skill level, because I was following your stories, man, and trying to keep up with like where you guys were riding, what it looked like. 'Cause
Yeah.
you've told me it can be very similar to kind of around here and everything. And dude, like there was some pretty heavy
Yeah.
river crossings. You guys were up pretty freaking high on the old
Yeah, bro.
side. Like I was like, whoa, this was
Yeah.
hardcore.
Yeah, man, it was hard. It was hard. And the majority of the people are experienced riders, but we get the odd ones that just really want to do it. And like I said, this guy, I could just tell that his mental fortitude, no matter what, he was going to get through it, whether he was in pain or whether we had to swim rivers and the other good thing is that these places, they're made for this. So the best part about it are these horses, bro. Like, if we brought our horses to do this, they would die. Like, they would literally die. These
Yeah.
horses, they're like athletes, right? It's just like a rope horse. Like, it's like, how could this horse just be quiet in the box and not get nervous and then run out there and turn? These horses, that's all they do. So you watch them like place their front left and like next to a cliff, but they know exactly where they're putting it, and their front right and their back, and they're sliding down these mounds and mud and keeping full control and climbing to 2,000 meters above sea level, like 6 hours to get up there, and not breathing heavy and not a bead of sweat on them. It's like, Jesus Christ. And so that's a really cool part of it as well, is like riding these tractors. They're literally tractors. They cross them, Criollos cross with like big draft horses. And yeah, man, they're just unbelievable, the power they have, and how much they know these mountains. You just give them the reins, and they take you up and down. It's really cool.
You just gotta be like, hold on, bud, gotta put them in four-wheel drive.
Yeah, it's only four-wheel drive. You put them in four-wheel drive right when you leave the corral, and you take it
Yeah.
off when you come back down, bro. Like, it's literally like this, swimming rivers, like, but it's unbelievable, man. Patagonia, as you can see behind me, Cowboy Cole asked at the beginning, is that a painting behind you? I'm like, no, this is like Clara's mom's house. Like this is just normal. It's beautiful, bro. It's some of the most beautiful land in the world. Like out of all the places I cross, from Alaska to Ushuaia, Argentina, the most beautiful is Patagonia, and just the extensions of nothing. Like nowadays, it's hard to find a place that's so wide open. Like, wide open spaces are leaving as quickly as people build parking lots and cities and whatnot. And this remains untouched. It remains wild and free and so rugged. It's quite spectacular to come down here. And you have to come ride with me, bro. Let's do it next year. Cowboy
Well,
Cole, bring
dude,
you down,
literally,
record some episodes down here.
dude, as you were talking about it all I could think about was why we need to get this figured out. I will come with and assist, ride at the back of the pack, but bro, I will handle making sure you have a GoPro on, I have a GoPro on, capturing those
Yes, sir.
moments throughout the day, compiling onto a hard drive, and then we can sit down and edit, or we can find an editor who can sit down and edit and make like
Oh yeah,
documentaries out of these trips, dude. That would be sick. Get that person,
bro.
get
You
that
can make
NFL guy who's never rode and be like, all right, first 10 hours
yeah.
the next morning, how you doing? Like,
Exactly, man. Exactly. And that's what we're missing. Like I would love to have someone out there filming this because I'm trying to film, I'm trying to entertain these people, I'm trying to help them, I'm trying to keep them alive, and if I had someone there to film, bro, it would be unbelievable. Like we shot on one of the days, we got a photographer, a cinematographer out to shoot a video for Luminox. They sponsor me the Swiss watches, and we shot, bro, a video on top of this old volcano, and it's freaking unbelievable. Like the footage we captured, and that was one day, and we had to rush it. Imagine, like you said, if you were there through the entire experience and we were able to get these these little tidbits of that I can't get and interview these people through these moments, it would be phenomenal. We'd get some amazing content, so let's make that happen, buddy.
yeah, dude, all I could think about was just like a scene of you having a real life conversation with somebody because you're the leader, you're doing your
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Cuts to the back of the pack conversation where I'm just riffing with homeboy about God knows what, you know what I mean? And it's like a funny contrast of like, serious, entertaining, explaining something about whatever, cut to me jacking around.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It would
no.
be amazing, bro. It'd be hilarious, and you would love it. I think that as rodeo athletes and growing up rodeoing, sometimes we can forget why we do this, and it's because we love horses. And when you get to do it, in this kind of manner and see the things you see on the back of these horses, and it kind of just resets everything, and I think it gives you a fresh outlook on roping or whatever sport it is that you do inside the rodeo arena, because it gets monotonous, right? It's the same thing over and over again. And when you're able to just, even for horses, like I've always told people, like take your rope horses out on trail rides. Like it's amazing for their minds. You do the same thing over and over again and you get crazy, right? That's why we'd never be able to work in an office, because we like to see different things. So it's amazing to get out there in nature with your horse, not only for you but for the animal as well.
Yeah, dude, because I mean, you know me. If all I do is rope, nothing but rope for an extended period of time, dude, I get squirrely, man. I'm like, hey, I want to do
100%.
something different, man. I have to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to be stimulated by something else because this is too much.
Yeah, for sure, buddy. We definitely have ADHD.
Yes, big time, bro, big time. So you did two of those
Yes,
rides.
we do.
You did two of those rides. Was it the same place that you went with two?
Yeah, same place, two different groups, 20 people in the first one, 20 people in the second one. And yeah, thank God everything went well. And then came back out, delivered the second group to the plane, and then Clarito flew in. Oh, Clarito's already here, but my parents flew in. People started coming in from everywhere, and yeah, and then got into the wedding that night. We had a reception dinner for everybody, and everyone got to know each other. And then the next day, we tied the knot here in Patagonia with the Patagonian winds. Like we were on the mic and like talking, doing our vows, and all I could hear was shh, like 60-kilometer-an-hour winds. I'm like, oh my God, I don't think anyone can hear me. But the videos and the photos turned out epic. Like the horses' manes are blowing and all the decorations. So it was awesome. And my mom and like my parents had never met Claire's parents before.
Right.
Like although we've been together for 8 years, like we live really far apart. And we live in Canada. Claire and I live in Canada, so our family had never met. So that was so cool, bro. To see like my mom chatting with her mom, our sisters, my dad, her uncle, like the entire family together was really really special.
That's huge. Yeah, it didn't turn into a meet the Fokker situation, eh?
Yeah, no, we didn't play volleyball. No volleyball in the pool.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
But I
But
mean, I was worried. You never know, right? You don't know because it's people from all walks of life. Like we had rodeo cowboys, we had like businessmen, we had Dana from the Calgary Stampede there, ex-president. Like we had Argentinians, we had like people from all walks of life, literally, like all different tribes come together in this lodge. I'm like, oh my God, this could like be a recipe for disaster. Like lock these people up in the wilderness, and like the next day, someone like is just floating on the lake. Like, oh my God, someone killed someone. But no, everyone survived it. Everyone had a grand time. After it finished, we spent, I think 7 days together. They just left yesterday. So got to tour around Patagonia. Came to Claire's hometown, had a barbecue here at her mom's house, and they got to meet her family and where they live. So it was really special, buddy. It was like a dream wedding. Everything worked out great. And the best part is that it rained all week, bro. Like we were so nervous because it was an outdoor wedding, and Plan B was doing it in this lodge, but it could have been anywhere. It could have been Banff, it could have been Ontario, it could have been Brazil. Like the beauty was doing it in front of the Andes, right, with this
yeah,
beautiful lake. So we had our Plan B sucked, and it literally rained 3 days before the wedding and 3 days after. The day of the wedding, sunny. It was like, oh, thank you, baby Jesus. We got blessed.
dude, that is God just opening up the skies because the cowboy hat was bringing the gang together.
Let's go. Cowboy hat cleared up. It was a beautiful day, and now I gotta get used to this ring. All the guys out there, send me some messages. How do you get used to wearing this ball and chain? Please tell me. And how do you wash your hands? Problems I've never had before. Like half the fucking bar of soap stays back here when you go to wash it. It's terrible, bro. It's terrible.
Dude, yeah, I bet you're gonna have to get one of those like dad has those silicone rubber ones or whatever. Because when he was still
Yeah,
swimming and shit, dude, he like jumped out of the pool
exactly.
and hung up and like he's lucky he didn't lose a finger straight up, you
Bro,
know?
you can lose a finger straight up. Like I saw my buddy Jay was down here. He's a farrier and he has one of those as well. He said he had his real one. He just keeps it in his drawer there and he wears a silicone one. So I think I'm gonna pick up apparently you get them like in packs, like a pack of 10.
Yeah.
And just as they rip, you just get a new one.
Hey, yeah, dude, what's up with these women and like when they go to put the ring on your finger at the marriage, they should really be saying like, do you lawfully take this ring to potentially lose your finger in an accident that could have been avoided by not having to wear this?
Will you give me your full finger like as a sign of your love? You know what else I thought was funny? Because you always watch the movies and the best part of the wedding is like when they say, does anyone here have anything to say like against this wedding? Or so, I don't know what the exact phrasing is, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't do that at my wedding. And
Yeah,
apparently they don't
dude.
do that. Like apparently that's just in the movies. I was so excited for that line. Like
What if I just busted in and was like, I object? Everyone's looking at me.
someone like
I'm just like,
Cowboy Cole just swims out of the lake. Like, I object.
yeah, just come out of
Anyways,
nowhere.
I was looking forward to that line, the awkward silence there, but we didn't have that at our wedding.
Did anybody
Very
like,
let down.
did anybody fall down? Did like the little flower girl fall down or anything?
No, no. Actually, we did have some interesting things happen before our wedding. The morning of, Jason, my buddy from the farrier that I was telling you about, his wife went for a walk and got lost. And
Oh,
then it wasn't an issue until it was like 2 hours to the wedding and she wasn't back. So then Jason
oh,
runs out there 17 miles. I don't know how long to try to find her, can't find her. And then my dad starts hearing this noise on the other side of the lake. He's like, I think I hear something. And our buddy Peter has his iPhone, whatever, 100, and has a super zoom and starts zooming in on the other side of the lake and finds Stacy splashing the water, lost on the other side. So they had to send a boat to get her. Like it was a little hectic, but luckily we found her. She had to cross two rivers up to her like belly in freezing glacier water. She
whoa.
tried to swim the lake, but then and realized she would have died if she kept going because it was so far. Thank God she didn't continue because this is like glacial water. It's so cold. So went back and then started yelling and making herself big to get her attention because the lodge is on the other side of the lake. But obviously it's so far. She looked like an ant on the other side. But luckily found Stacy and brought her back on the boat. She had time to get ready for the wedding. And yeah, that was it, buddy. No mishaps. No one got really drunk. There was no fights. No one did anything stupid. No one tried to hit on anyone's wife. It was just it was just a good wedding. Just a grand old time.
Just a good old wholesome wedding. Ah, that's
Good
good.
old Patagonian wedding, buddy. Yeah, it was amazing. Had everybody we loved there. It was everything we could have asked for. We feel blessed, Cletty, tonight.
Yeah, that's huge. And so now, how long do you hang out down there? You said until like the 21st?
Yeah, I don't have a flight back yet. So today I'll start looking at flights. I go to Brazil for an event on the 20th for Barretos. It's the launch of the Barretos Rodeo, so make an appearance there, and then I will fly back to Calgary until April 10th, and then back to Brazil for some talks. But yeah, buddy, I'm excited for the next few episodes. We got some really big
Yeah, dude.
stars lined up. You guys have to make sure you stay tuned because we have some epic guests coming up on the pod here and get back into the routine, bro. I'm excited to go back home and make my chicken and go to the gym and do my work on the computer and get back into it. Because like I said, I left end of January and now it's March 8 right now and
Yeah.
I still haven't gone home. So I'm excited to get back to Calgary.
Dude, I know that's been the blessing and the curse part of getting turned around at the airport that day was like I've been missing home, man, and it has been very nice to be home and just be at the ranch where I can kind of just hide away and do my work. It's been nice, but yeah, we do got some cool guests coming up. It won't be long. We'll be starting to do some in-person, quite a few in-person podcasts, kind of once everybody makes it back home, and if we're in the same province, we'll be doing one together. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, man. So I guess you'll be back in April.
I'll be back, yes, right away, beginning of April.
Beauty. Yeah, man. We'll do a lot of in-person podcasts. There's a lot of cool cats and kittens to interview in Calgary and the Alberta area. So I'm excited to get a little studio set up and then the Calgary Stampede coming up in July as well. We have a lot of big plans for that. Hopefully they come to fruition, get some of the top competitors in the world on the mic and film it really nice. And I think it's going to be awesome. It's a different vibe, right? When you have people in the studio, it's awesome to do this because we get to interview people from all over the world, right? Through the internet, but it'll be awesome for us as well to be sitting, I think, across from each other. It's a lot easier to get the rhythm of it as opposed to like, the internet and you're trying to figure out when the other person's going to talk or not and have our guests in studio as well. Super excited to get that mix in. So stay tuned. Should have been a Cowboy podcast coming at you with a lot of cool things. The next guest, I don't want to say who it is, but you guys are going to love it.
We'll see you in the next one. Yeah.